What's happening, ladies and gentlemen of League Zero, and welcome to the postseason press conference for Kappatilism. I have a few members of the team with me here. You can see their names on the screen. We might have more people coming in, but I kind of doubt it, since it seems like a lot of the team just kind of pieced out after the season was over.
Yeah, that's what's happened for the most part.
Not the first time, and not the only time. Actually, there's a few teams that just flat out don't have press conferences this season. Either way, let's see. Deflex. I know. Were you the captain the entire season?
No, Great Cub started off as captain.
Right. Okay, yeah. So normally I ask like what was the plan coming into the draft, but I don't think you guys would know.
I
So
mean, I looked through a lot of the channels and like it just seemed like they didn't have like a solid plan for like the entire season. It was only like the beginning where they wanted to find, as Taco said, diamonds in the rough, but like they didn't know like what they wanted in the long run, you know? So
yeah.
uh,
So
that's most of what I saw.
sounds like they didn't really do enough scouting or preparation to actually find said diamonds in the rough.
Yeah, I think like the only diamond in the rough was Ender, and even then, I'm pretty sure like several other teams would have wanted him as well. So
I
it is
believe
what
there
it
were.
is.
I think I remember there
Mm.
being a few teams sad that Ender got picked up in the draft. So sounds about right.
Yeah.
So I guess a more appropriate question that you guys could actually answer would be like what was the like mentality from like a player perspective like towards the beginning of the season? How did everything start off?
Oh my. Uh, uh, I think the mentality was fine for the first like two scrims, and then we got rolled on one of them because you're always gonna have that one where you get put in your place, and everyone got boomed. Like that's when I found out that this team got boomed extremely easily, and you guys saw that during the reverse sweeps and all that. Like it was not a fun team whenever we lost a map.
A map, like just a
A,
singular
s-
map?
a
A,
singular map would do it, yeah.
a
Yeah.
singular map, and we no longer get maintain comms, support comms, and then DPS aren't calming much anyways, other than like micro stuff. And so me and Ender, we during a game we tried to bring comms up, and I was literally spitting out nonsense. Like I look back at those games, and I'm like, man, I'm a 4.5k coach, and I'm spitting out this shit. Like
Eh,
it was rough.
enemy right. What?
Right? Like it literally dwindled down to like, oh my gosh, we sound like we're a new fucking team, and
Caveman callouts.
we're on like week 4 or some shit like that. uh, but yeah, one single map would boom us.
Hmm.
So I guess that doesn't exactly bode well for the sheer number of times you went to a map 5, because let's see, I have the schedule here from season 4. One, two, three, four times out of 7. That's insane.
And
So
most of them were in reverse sweep, weren't they?
I think like 2 or 3 were, yeah, if I
Yeah.
recall. So
I think the only map 5 where we weren't fully boomed was the one versus double cap. That's just
double cap. That was first week of games,
that
right?
was the first week of games.
Yeah.
I think that was the only one where we were all fully still intact.
Hmm.
So I guess what specifically fell apart? Like the team just got 2 booms to kind of bring it back, or
I
I don't know. Oh, commercial, you can go.
I was gonna say I think because the mentality of a lot of them has like I said they want to get those diamond on roughs. So what also ended up happening is that we got a lot of players who didn't have that same experience being like those high pressure scenarios. And once that pressure got to them, which was not hard for a lot of people, they just kind of broke under that pressure, and it was really hard to like come back from that. Because if it's like one person, everyone could probably go like, "Hey, it's fine. It's just one map. We'll go again." But when it's a full group of people, you're just like, "Oh." So it made coming back from those scenarios a lot more difficult.
So it kind of
Yeah.
sounds like he didn't really have the infrastructure in terms of coaching to like bring any player that was less experienced in a team setting up to snuff.
Yeah, a lot of it was that like from what Taco was going over, it was more so teaching like macro to the meta, whereas we needed to have macro to the experience as well. You know, does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like we just straight up needed him to kind of get the minds flowing for what should we be thinking of, you know, to try and solve problems and ask those questions. And while I was trying to set up or like step up in terms of that, you know, things just never fully clicked because we didn't do that as much during scrims.
So I guess kind of leads me to my next question. So in particular, what were scrims like for you guys then?
We were fine.
Just like normal.
Surprise, they're pretty average scrims, honestly. I would say for the most part, like in scrims, I would say for the most part we're I think we were fairly consistent. There's a few times where like we just had hiccups like on amongst all of us. We just did not do that well. But I think for the most part we actually had fairly consistent scrims. But once we got to game day, that's when just like everything started to collapse after just like one minor thing would happen. We're like, oh no, this is terrible. What do we do? I don't know what to do. And then we just, and then the reverse sweep would happen from there. We're like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
my only complaint about scrims is that Taco would talk a ton. Like it was
TED
hard to
Talk-
get him to stop.
did TED Talks between team fights.
Right?
Between
Like my
team
guy put out a
fights.
freaking bibliography in between maps.
I understood maybe like half of what he said. The other half just kind of went through.
He just
through one ear
talks
and
too
out the
much.
other.
Like as a coach, you should only be talking like 2 or 3 sentences at most. But like this dude put out pages and pages during in between maps.
Read the dictionary during one of the games.
Right? But yeah, other than that, like scrims were fine. Like I just don't think that they were like progressive enough towards individuals.
It was
So-
very a lot of the scrims, like it was mostly just like telling us, here's a composition, here's what's supposed to be do, now just do it, without like, I can't recall if we ever had like, like set plans, set plays. Everyone knew like specifically exactly what they needed to do or what they could do on specific maps. It was more just like, here's a composition, here's how it's supposed to be played, and now just go do it, right? That's what it felt like to me a lot in scrims. So I feel like the practice was very, very scuffed at times, and just and for a team that's supposed to be a lot like diamonds in the rough, they didn't treat it like diamonds in the rough. They treat it like we were all like well experienced and know exactly what we're doing, which I think was one of the biggest issues for sure.
Yeah, we just never touched any like micro stuff, and I have a feeling Taco just didn't know any micro, and so that was his main fault. Not one, just trying to go off of macro, and then two, not asking for help from like other coaches that would want to, because like you can't do this by yourself.
For all I know, Taco might have been giving us some micro information, but he did it in like a spew of macro and just dropped one little micro thing. And so it's probably one of the things that just kind of went through one ear out the other for me.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. So from looking at your team's registry, it looks like you had actually a couple of coaches here and there. Was really just like Taco the only one who was active, or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was-
I'll go for it.
I was gonna say like, I know like Slick for a little while he was a coach, but and there were several other people who were coaches. But as far as I'm aware of, unless you actively seek them out and you got them to like respond to you and set a time with you, they weren't very active. Like it was basically just Taco showing up to scrims, giving us like some coaching, like quite a bit of coaching, but it was just a lot of information all told in like short, like very small periods of time where we have to listen to it while we're still in the middle of the game. So it kind of made scrims very scuffed in that manner and trying to learn new stuff, as well as also having just one person try to teach everyone like one concept instead of having multiple coaches like break up that content of stuff to learn amongst all the different roles.
Yeah, it seemed like he was overwhelmed, and we would have to reach out to individual coaches to try and get some help. I have a feeling not very many did that. But like, you know, even then, I don't expect like Event Horizon to be coaching a League Zero team when he has a contenders team to help out with. So like, the time management is what I understand, and so like I just was really like expecting Taco to reach out to them and ask for any like help on micromanaging some of these roles. So like it just never got done. We were always just told the exact same stuff.
So later on in the regular season, you guys finally did manage to get your first win against Vitalize, if I recall. A little bit of a more lax game, but like what was going on there?
Greek said hog diff.
Octane.
That was a fun game. That was a lot of fun to play.
Which one was it?
The
last
one against Vitalize.
Oh, yes. I finally got to play hit scan.
Commercialism.
Commercialism, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even play that game. I was on random Wi-Fi with bouncing ping between 50 and 300 ms, and I would DC after like a minute. So I was gonna let commercial have most of the playtime anyways for that game. So why not?
I insta locked my Widow and it worked for the most part.
It did work.
I played Mercy. That was so much fun. Me and Nova running the farm Mercy the entire time. It was so good. Oh, it was so much fun. Especially since like before that I'd only played the match before that. Like I just joined the team.
Yeah.
And the week before I played main tank for us, and we lost map 5 against who was it? Was it MI6?
Vega. Oh no, I think it was MI6.
Yeah, it was map 5. It was really close. That was definitely one of them. But going to that next one, like we were really torn between wanting a win and also just wanting to have fun, wanting to screw around. So we started off just wanting to screw around, have fun, and you could very well tell by the character, by the hero selections we made. It was interesting at first. The first round on Lijiang didn't go well. We didn't expect it to, but after that, things just kind of clicked, and everyone was having fun. But we were also getting a lot of value with the choices we were making.
Chaos.
It paid off a lot. We got to see so many commercial popping off the entire time on Widow. Who had the 5K? Who was that? Was that JRG on Zen?
It might have been. Was that on like?
It was on Iconwall. It was on Iconwall.
Yeah,
that
like
was
5K.
It was it was absolutely crazy. You had our Zen popping off getting a 5K, and at the same time you had like half the team dodging a Diva bomb, and then he's just killing everybody. It was such a fun match. It ended up working out, but it was above everything. It was a lot of fun. That match was so much fun to play. I can't think of a single moment in that match where people were upset. We were just having fun, screwing around with character picks, making them work. And of course, Greek with the hog diff.
Hog diff, yeah. I think also the big one for that last one is that I think at some point, like after like that last one, or going into the next one, I think we all just stopped caring. Because did we ever scrim once after the MI6 game?
I don't think so.
I don't think we scrimmed once, and we
I
just
think we
kind
had
of
one. We might have had one, but I don't think
a
we
very
did.
like minute scrim. We're just like, we'll just keep practicing this stuff, and I was like, okay, well this was dumb, and then we just went into that game. It's like, all right, this game literally means nothing for us or both the other teams. Let's just do what we want. So we just play the heroes we want, and after like I think we got like our first map win. I think in all of our heads we just realized, oh shit, we can win this actually.
Yeah.
In a minute. So we just kept doing what we're doing. It worked.
We realized it was doable.
We're like, yeah.
Didn't Vitalize end up like following that flow and also like counter picking?
Oh yeah, okay. Oh, by the way, gosh, that Jib game where you get to just basically just 1v1 McCree the whole time. God, that was so fun. I won 10A. I'll take it, man. I'll take it.
Watching back the VOD and seeing the scoreboard change from the map score to
Oh yeah.
commercial versus the world, it was so funny. It was fucking amazing.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta embrace the teams memeing around.
Yeah.
Oh, Frick, you got a question? One sec. Let's see. You gotta accept it. Top right corner. Bueller.
Request again.
He just wants his hand up.
He just likes the green little circle.
He likes the attention.
Oh, he's gone.
Oh,
he's back.
Oh, there you go.
There it is.
Hey.
There's an accept button.
Yeah, next up all the way up at the top.
Top right.
There
No.
should be a
Okay.
card up. Oh.
Oh,
It just gave up. It's not worth it anymore.
L.
I'm getting
Okay.
pinged now. There is no button.
You're a
It's-
button.
It's in
There's
the
a
top right
button.
corner. Here,
Mine was at the top of the screen for me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
at the-
mine was
at
up
the
at the top.
Yeah, the top of Discord.
Okay, hey, it works. Okay, it works.
There
Okay, it
you
works.
go.
Okay, Hello, members of Kappatilism. So my question to you is, what are you guys' thoughts on Polynesian sauce from Chick-fil-A?
I don't know. I've only had Chick-fil-A once, so I don't think I have the right to have an
Good idea.
answer on that.
It's terrible. Chick-fil-A is not good.
I'm not a fan of it. I'm just not a fan of the sauce.
Okay, good thoughts. Good
I
thoughts.
like their chicken. I don't care for their sauce.
All right,
they got
thank
good
guys
chicken,
for the
though.
answers.
Thank
Okay.
you for the question.
I'm pretty sure he's come into like almost every single press conference asking a different question about food, like every single time.
Okay.
Respect.
Yeah.
Oh, why do we get Chick-fil-A though? Chick-fil-A wonk.
They have like a singular one in my state. It just hasn't come to the Northeast yet.
Bruh.
Dude, we got one everywhere here in Dallas.
That's like
There's a
Dunkin'
lot in
Donuts.
Iowa too.
I've
We have
only
one
seen
on
like
campus.
I've only seen like one in my home state. I'm just like, okay.
Oh, it's got another question.
Oh,
Oh, another one. All right.
Okay, hello, members of Kappatilism. How's everyone's day been today?
It's been alright. It's been alright.
All right. I have one actual question about like, Overwatch. Why is your logo the best out of all the inter teams?
Because
We're
we have
better.
commercial.
Who designed
and
it?
I don't
oh
know.
god. Oh, I'd have to look it up.
I'm gonna go pay like $1 million. It's just fucking fire.
I forget. If you look closely as well, they have like in L0 we trust on the dollars and stuff. It's
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
it might have been Jepic. I'm
It's
not
your logo I'm talking about.
Well, it's not my logo. This team has been
It's
alive
just,
for.
It's just a logo.
It's been around since season 3. Hold on.
Yeah, it's been alive for quite a while.
I'm surprised that the rebranding from capitalism to commercialism never went through because
Right?
I'm just saying
Yeah, it's pretty good.
the one game I played my main role, we won 3-1. I'm
We
just
would have
saying.
won so much sooner.
I know, right? God, I had to play.
Hey,
main,
the
man.
one game I played Mercy, we won 3-1. So I
Exactly.
mean, I'm seeing a pattern here. A pattern of one.
I'm
All right,
going-
guys. Well, thanks for the answers to my question. I have to dip now.
Okay.
All right, bye. Have fun.
Bye.
Yeah.
Off he goes.
Now I
Keep
just have,
going.
I'm looking for the damn. We still have the old branding chat that we bring back every season. Now I have to find Kappatilism. I'm pretty sure it was Jepic who made it.
I have a feeling it was because he did quite a bit.
He did a lot in season 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's probably towards the very beginning of this chat. Okay, it's not even in this chat. I don't know who made it then. I'm just gonna assume it was Jepic. Because it's definitely close to his style. Anyways,
Pinned.
let's see. Right, so I was gonna ask a question about like when specifically in the season you guys, if at all, if you like stopped trying, or if it was just like consistently trying to get that win all the way through. But it kind of sounds like you were trying right up until the MI6 game.
We were trying up
I
until the Vitalize game.
Oh yeah, I think well, I think once we got to the Paralyzed game, there's still like that mindset of like, okay, we want to get at least one win, but honestly, if we don't win, we will not be surprised, right?
Yeah, like just win but have fun, you know?
Yeah. Um, but I think after like the first few losses, we started to get a little more try hard and a little more try hard, and it pretty soon just got into our heads that especially after games like the Exodus one, the MI6, and especially the Pepega Parrot one, I just remember, especially after the Pepega Parrots one, we went like dead silent. We didn't speak in VC. I think none of us said anything in like the the, the general chat or whatever in our server. We just went dead silent. We're just like, and it's just went our own way.
Well, yeah, because like at that point we knew we wouldn't be in the playoffs for the most part,
Yeah, like
and so it was like if we can't get a win over MI6, we're 100% out,
mhm.
and you know from there it's just like oh well, we've already lost this much, our hopes are down. So
Yeah.
you know it's kind of hard to be all try hard once you've lost like 7 straight games or some shit like that, you
Yeah,
know?
for sure. And also, I think another thing, like at least personally from my point of view, like what I saw is that I thought it was not to blame the coaches or manager for one thing. They always said this is an easy win after like one map or so. Like they're like this team's terrible, you're gonna win. I didn't like that because then it's trying to put because then it's puts at that mindset like yeah we should be winning, and also if we don't do well it's like why are we losing, you know?
Yeah,
I didn't like that. I was just more just like okay, here's what we need to be doing all game. Stick to that mindset. It doesn't matter if this team is below us or above us in the standings. Play your game what we know, you know? Like, but it's always just they're bad, they're terrible, just win kind of mindset the coaches and managers had on our team. And it just did not make it any better because that's just the absolute wrong mindset to have. The mindset should always be just consistent, keep grinding, improve. Doesn't matter what all the other teams are, just, you know, just play to what we know and you know fix any make changes on the spot and just go from there, you know. But we didn't have that at all.
yeah, it was a lot of pressure during the matches. So that also probably led to a lot of us getting boomed as well.
Yeah, super unnecessary pressure.
Yeah, for sure.
So, speaking of pressure, looking at the schedule, you guys like your first 2 weeks were literally double cap and tenacity, who obviously were in the grand finals, two of the top teams all season long. So do you think if you didn't have to face the two best teams in the league for the first 2 weeks that you could have possibly gotten some wins earlier, maybe it had a better mentality and done better overall?
Think all right if you like reversed our schedule, I absolutely do think we would have had a way better mentality because those would have been games that like on paper, just from like a mechanical standpoint, not like you know a team like synergy standpoint, we should have like in theory won. But again, you know, not that mindset of like we're gonna win. It's just more like on paper it seems like we would be the quote unquote favorites, you know. So I think if I feel like our schedule was completely just like flipped around, I think we would have had a lot better chance. And even just like getting like one win on board would have absolutely just improved our mentality like tenfold for sure. But definitely having, you know, the two top teams back to back in the first few weeks was not great, but we had a pretty close game against Double Cap, and we're the first team to take a map off Tenacity, if I remember correctly. Is that
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think that still like told us saying, hey, we do have something going for us right now, even if we did get a loss. But we just trying to figure out what we need to do differently. And then we didn't do anything different. We just did the exact same thing over and over again, and it never worked.
Yeah, I think that I actually really liked playing Double Cap and Tenacity first because that was like, oh yeah, get the two hardest teams out of the way before they get even stronger, you know? Because like that'll give everyone time to do better and meet each other in the playoffs. What happened after that? Jack shit. So, you know, that was disappointing after those matches. I said it a lot in the Cap channel, but like, I really don't give a shit about strength of schedule. Like, it means nothing to me. Yeah, if we first thought Police week 1, they were bad. We could have taken the win, but you know, who knows? I mean, we also got boomed very easily.
Mhm.
So yeah, that also it was a factor from beginning to the second to the last game. So we don't even know if we would have taken that.
All right. Well, I do have one last question for you guys. I like to close it out on a lighter note. So, what would you say was your favorite memory from this season?
I know my answer for sure. And I know my answer from that was from that game against Vitalized. There was
Yeah.
that same fight where Jared G pops off on Zen, 5K. There's Diva Bomb going off in the back line. Me and Nova being the Pharmacy. We got to dip out of the sky. We're also just over the bridge towards the end of second point. So we're freaking the hell out where to go. So we both drop underneath the bridge and then hope for the best. Bomb goes off. We barely make it out and we're screaming our heads off because we're freaking out that we lived. That was my favorite. It was so and we didn't even realize that JRG got a 5K until a little bit after, because then he starts popping off like, wait, what happened? We were just trying to live, and we come back and everyone's dead.
Oh.
It's pretty whack.
I think one of my favorites was when we played Tenacity, and me and Nova were just like in complete sync with our dives on Jib. It was just so much fun. That was probably the most fun map I had all season. Like, I don't care if I was more dominant on another map or something, but that map was genuinely fun because we were going up against one of the best teams in the league, and you know we were having fun. We were dominating on second point. It was just pure fun.
For me, for sure, it's definitely my Widow duel on Jib. That was very fun, having the whole stream dedicate just to that, and also just seeing all everyone's reactions after like some like pretty disgusting shots I was landing. I don't think the broadcast was saved as far as I checked because I wanted to save some of those clips because I want to use them, but I don't think I saw them saved anywhere, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, no, we had some. I think Pendy went back to college and like didn't tell anyone that he couldn't save the broadcasts. So
Dang. It's like the only the only game that was not saved, I think, for intermediate, which is really unfortunate.
I think there's a few. I think it's like the last week of games and then like the first 2 weeks of playoffs, something like that. I managed to save the grand finals and like the second to last week, but I was kind of annoyed no one said anything.
Damn.
Oh well, I know there should be some clips floating around as well.
I would hope so. I tried finding to see if anyone like if there's any clips of like from that game, particularly from like McCree's and I's 1v1s, but I haven't found any yet. I'm trying to look to see if those exist anywhere.
Acri, Gress says he loves you.
Okay. I can't reciprocate because I don't trust anyone's age in this community. You're all fetuses to me.
I think Gress is old enough. I think he's in college or something like that.
That's nice. I can't trust it. Anyways. Yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. So thank you all for showing up. Thanks to AS Frick, was the only one who had an actual question. So yeah, ironically having a few people show up in the audience right at the last
very,
minute.
very end.
But anyways,
If you have a question, raise your hand now.
yeah. But yeah, anyways, that's all I've got. Thank you guys for showing up. Thanks to anyone watching this on YouTube after the fact. And until next time, because we only have like 2 more press conferences recorded later today, be released on YouTube in the coming days after this goes live. Don't die.